In Niger's capital, Niamey, supporters of Niger's military coup were defiant, despite warnings from regional leaders and the West, as junta leaders continue to hold the president captive more than a week after they seized power.
The
National Council for the Safeguard of the Country warns ECOWAS and the foreign power against all interference in the internal affairs of Niger, as well as the disastrous consequences of this military adventure on the security of our sub-region, its stability, and the unity of our community.
To symbolize their seriousness, protesters in Niamey on Sunday slaughtered a rooster painted with the tricolor of former colonizer France. Sunday's deadline to return President Mohamed Bazoum to power came and went. From captivity, he managed to dictate an editorial to the Washington Post, in which he said the coup, led by the head of his presidential guard, has no justification whatsoever. The Economic Community of West African States, or ECOWAS, threatened to use force if Bazoum was not released. The body will now hold an emergency summit Thursday. Niger is a key U.S. security partner in the unstable Sahel region. On Monday, Pentagon officials said there was no change to the force posture of the hundreds of U.S. troops there, and no plans to evacuate them. Niger, one of the world's poorest countries, has the highest fertility rate in Africa and depends heavily on foreign aid. On Monday, the State Department discussed its decision to cut aid.
It's a significant amount. I don't have a number because it's a pause, and it's a pause that we would hope would be reversed if the junta leaders would step aside and restore constitutional order tomorrow. That pause would be the pause would go away and security assistance would be reinstated. But as we've made clear, hundreds of millions of dollars are at stake.
But the junta leaders have some support, analysts say, as their counterparts in nearby Burkina Faso, Mali, and Guinea have come out on their side and held meetings with the Niamey group.
They're afraid of a regional economic community intervening and restoring democracy, and that's not what they stand for. I guess it shows how fearful they are that a values-based intervention that is a lot about preserving and supporting democratic process and accountable government is something that they don't welcome.
So with this testy region bristling with anti-Western vibes, what can the wider world do?
Any action by international partners, be they France or the United States, could be misinterpreted, misconstrued. So I think it is prudent of the Pentagon just to keep their people in place and kind of watch out as the mediation politics and possibly military intervention planning continues.
Meanwhile, in Niamey, residents have been stockpiling food and supplies for what could be a tense week ahead. Anita, Powell, VOA News, Washington.